What's up, everybody? It's DJ Arson out of NYC, the fire starter and the place to be.
All right. So first and foremost, we want to thank you for taking the time to come and speak with us, okay, at Sk8rz Konnect. And we just want to ask you a couple questions for those who may not know who you are. So let's start off with, how long have you been a DJ?
A DJ or a skate DJ?
A DJ.
DJ?
Yeah, we're going to start the DJ first. So how long have you been a DJ?
At least, let's see, good 30 years.
Okay. And what got you into it?
Basically music, just trying to put music together and, finding out different techniques of mixing, I guess you want to say. And I just remember the first time I, using my father's stereo equipment and kind of rigging something up with the turntable, and the rest was history from there. I just, gained a passion for it.
Where did you start DJing in New York?
In terms of start, like party-wise or anything, yeah, I did local events around my neighborhood and just little house functions.
Okay. Now, as far as DJing, who influenced you as far as DJing?
Influenced me? There's so many that, coming up. When I was coming up, I grew up around a lot of older folks, as I was like the baby in the bunch, so to speak, and they kind of nurtured me in the game. So it was a lot of local, guys that pretty much were doing their own thing. But then, of course, there's, people now that, are more established, I have just tons of people that, that inspired me.
Got you. Now, when did you start getting into the skate world?
Skate world for me was early 90s. I went skating, I should say I went back skating from being a kid, at the rink in Bergenfield. I was pulled into that, and ever since then I gained a huge passion for the, skate world. Back then it was more of just a free-for-all kind of thing. It wasn't as intense, as I could say, as it is now. And then I kind of developed a passion to actually want to DJ. I used to, DJ parties and clubs and everything. So I actually wanted to see what it was like to DJ in a skating rink. And coincidentally, they had auditions, so to speak, at the Sk8rz. They were bringing in a guest DJ every week for an hour. And then things narrowed down where, things were said and done. I got my own local session.
Okay. Well, that's good. Now, I know a lot of DJs who aren't in the skate world, they always want to be in a skating rink.
Right.
And you had mentioned something about the intensity of it. So what do you think are the challenges of being a DJ in the skate world? Because a DJ in the skate world is different than being a DJ in the club.
Absolutely.
That's why I tell everybody all the time, I'm like, look, it's different. You may be able to rock a club, but you probably can't rock a skating rink. So for you, what are the challenges?
Well, for me, I think I was fortunate enough to actually do parties, clubs, lounges, mixtapes, all of the above, way before I even entered the skate world. And what that did for me actually was kind of give it almost like a level up for what I see it as. And when I say that is, I try to bring like a party almost to the skate world. I don't want to just be able to play music. I want it to be, people that enjoy themselves. So I use that to my advantage in terms of skating on that level. Difference between club and DJing in a skating rink, obviously there's a huge difference. You got to keep kind of a common ground when you're in a skating rink. You can't be all over the place, tempo-wise. You got to keep that same consistent beat going, which is something that a lot of club DJs don't realize or they lack when they come into the skating world. So you have to give the skaters that. But at the same time, you have to give the skaters that hype like you would be in a club. When you hear your records come in all the time and it just makes the crowd react. So I kind of mix the two together. Me personally is how I, bring that to the skate world and make that work.
So not only are you a DJ, but you're a skater. Does that help you when you DJ?
I was always a skater. Like I said, I started skating for a while, like few years before I actually started DJing in the skating rink. And yes, it does, because you know kind of what the skaters want. And I had a little bit of an edge too, because obviously as a skater, you know people. It's not like you're coming in cold turkey from the club and you don't know anybody. When you know people, it helps a whole lot, because then you are able to know what people want and people like.
Okay, what's your style of DJing?
Style?
Yeah.
I don't know exactly, when you say style of DJing, what do you mean?
Like, do you consider yourself an open format or?
Yeah, I go with the flow. I don't really plan for any night. I did sometimes, you put things together, but there's no real planning, because you never know what to expect. You can plan for, a bunch of 50, 60, 70-year-olds to come in there, and then next thing you know, a bunch of 20, 30, and 40-year-olds come in the building, and you have to switch your whole set. So you really never know what to expect. I go with the flow and see and try to read the crowd as best as I can to see what is, what everybody's into.
What's your viewpoint on the state of music, but in particularly skate music?
Well, state of music has definitely changed. I love the 90s. Me DJing in the 90s was, to me, the best era. But, music has changed, and so has life. And I always say things, post and pre 9/11. For me, post 9/11 changed the whole world completely. The entire world, not just New York City, where I'm from, the entire world.
Yeah.
And it changed things everywhere. People's attitudes, musically, spiritually, emotionally, everything just changed. So musically, it definitely changed. But you have to adapt, just like everywhere else. You have to adapt. We have social media now. We didn't have that years ago.
I know, right?
You have to adapt to that. It's just a lot of changes.
Yeah.
And I think the better, you adapt with the culture and everything that's moving around you, the more successful it is.
So for you in particular, I know a lot of DJs, they go through their process of when they're about to hit the stage, hit the turntables, and they just get in the zone. So what do you do particularly to get yourself in the zone before you get up there? Because we know you have a set tonight. Right. So mentally, how do you prepare yourself mentally for anything you do?
Yeah, because you were there
like
last
I say,
night, so
I
you
can't.
Saw the crowd,
I don't. I really don't. You really can't. You can prepare for, everything. It's like a woman or couples that I said, planning to have a baby.
That's true.
It's never a good time. You never really know, and it's just you don't really know what to expect. So you got to really go with the flow. That first skater hits the floor and I'm playing a record, then that kind of brings me into the zone. And I see, okay, they're into this, and then I start seeing the format, of how things are going.
So for all the up and coming DJs that are looking to break into the skate world, because you're considered one of the elites in the skate world. So what advice would you give them?
Consistency. It's you have to be motivated. You have to be consistent. Humble yourself. I always tell people there's a big difference between being hungry and thirsty. Hungry is totally 100% okay. That's what you want to be. You're hungry. It's like a new rapper, a new artist, or anything that is hungry. They're out there, they're working hard, they're on their grind to get to where they want to be. But then you have people that are thirsty, that are just doing anything and everything just to get in. And, it becomes like either a cutthroat situation, or you start stepping on people's toes, and that's what you don't want. So the balance between hunger and thirsty, and then you have to put the, humble part of it in there so you can be on the right track when you're, trying to get to where you want to go.
Gotcha. So as a DJ, we're constantly listening to music. Right. So for yourself personally, like what is in your iTunes or Spotify playlist or whatever, like what are some of the songs that you listen to? And it doesn't even have to be skate related, just
right.
whatever it's like, oh man, I just love to listen to this. They may think I'm crazy to listen to it, but this is what I love to listen to.
I like different things. I mean, I really like different things. I love the fact that the Chicago, producers, they have so many out there. I mean, there's producers everywhere, but Chicago really holds the crown. They have so many, and I love what they do. I really love, different music. I came out with a series, mixtape series called You Still Skate.
Yeah, number 13 is hot. I like that.
And my philosophy with that was, skating, let's face it, is not like it was in the 80s and the 70s and, beyond or whatever. It's rollerblades kind of came by storm and kind of took that and buried the roller skating, and we see rinks every day. We're losing rinks every day. So most of the time you see people come up to you and, you tell them, what are you doing today? Or, you're talking to your buddy, oh, I'm going skating. And people look at you and they're like, skating? Yeah. You still skate like that? So that stuck in my head. Yeah. So my philosophy with that was to try to put some of the outside world onto what we do. And by doing that, you present to them some of this music that they've never even thought to, imagine to hear. And I've had people tell me all the time that, I had your CD playing in my car, and man, dude took it and he never gave it back to me. I gotta get another one. And I'm like, really? And he don't even know what he's listening to, but he liked it so much, And I'm like, oh, well, that's good. That's achieving my goals. So it's bringing people into what we do, trying to make the scene bigger. And then by doing that as well, I know a lot of my DJ comrades that I've been into the mixtape game for years. I have my own website with everything.
That's
and I've been
Unit?
Mix CD Source. Mix Unit is a friend of mine that they do, but I'm Mix CD Source. Okay. And I've been doing that for years. And obviously it gains promotion in the streets, sort of. It's like a new song breaks, it hits the mixtape, then it hits the radio, or I should say it hits the club, then it hits the radio, and it becomes mainstream and gets big. And it usually starts with a mixtape. And what I was doing with a lot of DJs and friends of mine, I was telling them, like, listen, you guys got to start making CD mixes of yourself. It doesn't matter if we're playing all the same songs. If DJ such and such plays them, and then DJ other, plays them, it's the way you mix them and the way this other person, they're going to want to hear how you mix them and everything else. And it's a very good way of getting yourself out there and, getting yourself recognized. So I started featuring DJs to get them into making mixtapes with the You Still Skate series and start trying to promote them, because I put my CDs way past the skate world. They go outside to the general public. And that's what I'm trying to do, bring people in, the outside world in. We're already established within ourselves, try to bring people in.
Now, tell us about an interesting encounter that you may have had, like in your years of DJing, something that just stands out that you like, I ain't never gonna forget this.
Oh, I really can't think. I don't know off the top of my head, but it's this, I see it, like I tell people in the DJ booth, you see everything. Well, you don't see everything, but you see a lot.
You see a different perspective.
You see it, exactly. So sometimes I just sit there and I crack up in the DJ booth to myself because I see something, It may not necessarily be the way somebody fell or whatever, but you just see something in the way a person interacts, or you can just read, like, I can only imagine what they were thinking, you know what I mean? Like, for instance, a woman wants to skate with a guy and you see the girl make a face like this. I could only imagine, she probably like, I don't know him like that or whatever. And it just makes you crack up. So I have a lot of those, but I don't know particularly like a thing that's made me, sit there and just say, oh my God, I'll never forget that. I can't think, at least off the top of my head right now.
So you did some international travel and DJing?
Yes.
Okay. How was that?
It's good. It's different, but it's good.
Very different. I mean, places that you went to, I know it's like the crowd is the atmosphere is totally different.
I haven't done much on the skating level with that, but I have done international DJing before. They appreciate, our music, being that they either don't have access to it as fast as we do, and then when they hear things like, it brings them in, and then they see videos. Like I said, social media now has gotten to the point where wherever I travel, it's like people are like, yo, I see the videos of you guys in your rink up there. We want that, you know, bring us, play that stuff. You know, I was just telling Otis, the, you know, coordinator for this party, the same thing. You know, sometimes they just beat you in the head and they're like, yo, play the stuff you play up there, you know, and everything like that. So it's different. It's everywhere you go is a little different, but I love it. You know, I love, you know, how skaters embrace music, and I love open-minded skaters that are always open to new things, new music. Yeah. It's the best feeling for a DJ.
So speaking of that, as far as like traveling, where would be one place that you have not DJ'd at that you would like to do it? Whether it's a skating rink or just outside, doesn't matter.
Well, there's a lot. My wife and I actually went to Japan last year, and I always wanted to DJ there. I didn't DJ there. We just went to visit. But I saw the culture again, and it was like, oh my gosh. I know a bunch of people that are, you know, that actually did DJ. And I see how, well, to a point, I see how they interact with our kind of music. And they really embrace like a lot of reggae and stuff. And they embrace, like, we went to, I don't want to call it a techno party, but we went to like a house kind of party, you know, and it was just amazing. And I saw them all embracing in that. So it was just like, for me though, that's one of my goals, you know, in life, and just some of those major big countries.
Well, we know you have to get ready for tonight. So tell the people where they can find you on social media, Facebook, Instagram. Even if you got a MySpace page still, you know, what's the best way?
I actually do have a MySpace. I haven't touched it in years, but I don't even know what it's doing right now.
You might go back to it and be like, what was I thinking?
I have a MySpace, but the easiest way to contact me is either through my website, which is djarson.com, or the other domain is mixcdsource.com, which is the same exact website. Or Facebook, you know, .com/DJ Arson, or Instagram.com/DJ Arson_NYC.
All right. Sounds good, man. Well, we want to thank you on behalf of Sk8rz Konnect for taking the time out of your schedule and speaking with us.
No problem.
I know we look forward to hearing you. You know, and I know all the other skaters, they always look forward to hearing Arson. Arson's going to be there. We going to skate tonight.
Be there.
It's a good feeling. Yeah, I appreciate it.
So again, we appreciate you, and we will see you on the wood.
Okay, sounds good.